And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. Oh, and we're happy it's Friday, November 21st, 2025. Hope you're having a good day. As always, serious talk on everything that affects you. Everything that affects you. We'll do the markets. What's affecting the markets, the economy, your job, your industry. The president today met with the incoming mayor of New York City. We'll talk about that and much more in just what I consider to be two of the wildest days I've seen in a while, with something we're going to say today which we haven't needed to say in a very long time. And if you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed. And if you don't follow us on X, you should. We'll also post it on the YouTube channel of BizTV and other podcast apps. And if you'd like to email me, all you have to do is be nice. So, yesterday, NVIDIA announces earnings. The market's up huge. Reverses over 1,000 Dow points, I think over 1,100 NASDAQ points. NVIDIA, which is the largest influence on the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, pretty much opened at 196, closed at 180.64. It was one of what we call the worst outside reversal days we have seen on record, where the market is up huge and finishes near the lows on big volume. And typically what that will mean is that lower prices are going to come, normally. Yesterday we did not say that. We just reported the news, and we say that because, and we didn't say that because the markets have just been so weird for years. So we take it one step at a time, and we came up with this line. We have no clue what happens tomorrow, but we do know the big picture. And if anything changes, we will let you know. So today, let me describe it. The NASDAQ was getting hit hard again today. The NASDAQ opened up a little bit by about 1040. Was down about 180 points. Now, mind you, we lost from the highs yesterday over 1,100. We were down another 180. They were hitting NVIDIA again, $8, breaking some support. And whatever happened, happened. We rallied up. We pulled back, and it would be normal to bounce to the point where at around noon we were at 22,367, about 260 on the NASDAQ after reversing over 1,100. Normal. Then we pulled back 200 points to be only up 95, something like that. I'm close. And then comes news that the president looks like he is going to allow, and let me be clear about our thoughts on a president allowing. It nauseates the hell out of me. And this is not on Trump or by any president allowing. We're going to allow you to do this. We're going to allow you to do that. You are a public company or private company. We're going to allow you. We're going to allow you. We're going to disallow you. We're not going to. We nauseates us. In any case, announcements that maybe, I don't think it's been confirmed, allow NVIDIA to sell some whatever to China that they guess have not been able to. Immediately, the NASDAQ jumped. NVIDIA jumped, taking other things, jumping. And at that point, I told my peeps, okay, I mentioned it, I just shut up the rest of the day. I shut up the rest of the day. Because what are you going to do? So get this. After being down 180, we hit a high of 22,531. 460 points. A 640-point swing. We're up 460 on the NASDAQ. Dropped 265 into the close. This is your NASDAQ. Your leading NASDAQ. Did finish up. Not so sure I'm impressed. We'll just start with that. And interesting enough, which is kind of a little bit more interest, NVIDIA did finish down a couple of bucks on the day, in spite of. Now, without getting too technical, NVIDIA is trading below the 50-day moving average, but a little bit of a reversal today off the lows. As mentioned, the NASDAQ trading below the 50-day moving average after a nauseating reversal yesterday, the NASDAQ 100 below. The Philadelphia Semiconductor Index today finished up 54, trading below the 50-day. At one point, though, it was up 154, but at one point today, it was down 190. So all over the freaking map, technology, semiconductors, artificial intelligence type of stuff. I have no clue what happens Monday. How's that? And don't even want to pretend to know, because it was a crazy 2 days for a very important area of the market. And I am so happy I was out of those areas coming into those 2 days. Because psychologically, I don't know what I would have been doing. It's easy when you're outside looking in, but I really don't know what I would have ended up doing. That's the NASDAQ 100, NVIDIA. You had some things bounce around, but I can safely tell you a crapload of technology broke down this past week. Notwithstanding what I'm about to tell you in a few minutes about the broad market. Names like Palo Alto Networks, Palantir, Viva Systems, SoftBank, Shopify, Snowflake, CrowdStrike, Credo, and many others. Broadcom, Taiwan Semi, Oracle continues to, lack of a better word, crash. Next week will be another week. By the way, it's a shortened week, 3.5 days. Let me say up front, happy Thanksgiving to any and all. Hope you have a great week with the families. As I have stated, If able, think about doing something for somebody you need absolutely nothing from. You know what a great thing to do if you know a family that can't afford? Maybe get them a turkey dinner or something. Just little things. The little things. Not a bad thing. Up next, the rest of the market. Something up today. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Let me just state for the record, as you know, I'm in and out with the president. We call balls and strikes here. He just did a press conference with this turd, this racist, anti-Semitic, Jew hater, Israel hater, communist. He was just being too nice. Oh, I think he can do great things. What? The guy called you an effing fascist last week. Pretty much called you the scum of the earth. Despot. You know what the president says? Oh, I've been called worse. And I get that. But I'm sorry, if I'm president, for me, I call it as it is. We'll see how it plays out. We'll hope for the best. The Dow finished up 493 points today. After dropping yesterday from a high of 46,856, closed at 45,752, 1,100 points. Bounced up 493. Am I surprised about bouncing up? Yeah. Not that we bounced up at 493, but what was interesting is we were up over 800. We got back 800 of yesterday's 1,100, but only finished up 493 as we weakened into the close, which I don't think means much, but anyhow, just reporting the news. What you do need to know, though, why would we bounce? Well, in case you do not know, the Dow had dropped. You ready for this? 48,431, 2,700 points in 6 days. So we bounced. So that doesn't thrill. Hey, down 2,700 points, up almost 500. Normal bounce. And again, the NASDAQ of import went from, well, we dropped from 24,000 down below 22,000 and bounced today. Okay. Cool with that. The healthcare and pharmaceutical area continues to be strong. If you go look at the PPH and the XLV, you will see strength in those two exchange-traded funds. That's healthcare and pharmaceuticals. I would also suggest that the IHI, that on the verge of breaking out, that's medical equipment. So definitely there's a theme on the healthcare, which perked up about 2 weeks ago with Eli Lilly going vertical 2 to 3 weeks ago. Other things have followed suit, like a McKesson and just other healthcare stuff. I can tell you something like an IDEX Labs, IDXX, gapped up 3 weeks ago, came down with the bad market. Good day today, up $36. Not at highs, but close. And that's medical equipment and all that crap. So we just want to let you know there's some leadership qualities of the medical, healthcare, pharmaceutical area. Whether or not there's earnings power there, don't know. Also, the biotech. They've been coming on. If you look at Regeneron coming up the right side, Amgen in the Dow, straight up. So this healthcare thing has got some things going on. Gilead, another big biotech, near the highs. How about symbol GH, Garden Health, non-invasive cancer diagnostics and stuff like that. Gapped up a few weeks ago, looks like it wants to move out of there. So medical, healthcare, but how far are they going to go? But we'll start with that. But that's got some leadership qualities. Other areas have not. What have we been doing almost on a daily basis? Avoid this, that, and the other thing. Well, what have we told you to avoid? Most retail, housing related, truckers, rails, travel related, and that would be hotels, airlines, cruise lines, economically sensitive that are not artificial intelligence, restaurants, avoid. Consumer staples, avoid. Insurance, avoid. We've just been telling you they've been in downtrends of unknown price and time. Oh, managed care. Oh, ADP and paychecks. Avoid. Well, I've yet to fully scan, and I do not think they've come out of their downtrends yet. But all those areas impressed the living heck out of me today. It started somewhere around 11:30. You had a strong day in housing and housing related, a strong day in the transports, a strong day in the airlines, a strong day in the cruise lines, a strong day. Restaurants, strong day. And how many times I've been able to say that in the last few months? Never. A strong day in the economically sensitive that is not artificial intelligence. A strong day in insurance. A strong day in other financials besides the big banks. But as I said, I've done some preliminary scans. I am not sure they broke down trends, and I'm not sure they're the lows, but I'm very impressed with today, the broader market. Now, we've had good days in the broad market before, and they got frittered away pretty quickly. I am agnostic right now on what comes of this, but I am more impressed today than other days that were pretty good. We'll see what comes of it. We'll expound more up next on Investor's Edge. So, out of these areas, we found some sore thumbs. Anything we mention, we are not advocating buying, selling, shorting, or covering. We're not telling you to do anything. We're just describing some names that, for us, have shown much better relative strength than their brethren in the groups. Ralph Lauren, on the verge of breaking out a range and has been strong for a while. That's a sore thumb. Ross Stores, a big breakout today, up 8% on 2.5 times average volume on their earnings report. Now, earnings were up a whopping 7%, but revenues were up 10%, and that is 4 quarters of acceleration on revenues. The market liked it. Look at that. And by the way, I believe that could be an all-time high. It is. One of the few. So look at that, a couple of retailers. But I got a couple of others. I'm going to be watching Burlington going into next week. One big year of range bound that cannot get over 300 if it tried. If it does, it could be of import. Another one that's sticking out for me. And just overall, a very good tone for retail today, though many are way down. Restoration Hardware was up 14 today to 153. It was 456 10 months ago. Catching my drift? Home Depot was up 11 today in the Dow. That'll be about 70 Dow points today. Home Depot was up 11 today, but I believe for the week was down 19. Remember, they got hit on earnings. Oh, and by the way, it's still down. 26 and 57 would be $83 from just mid-September. Does not impress. So we have to separate, hey, look at this pretty darn strong. Oh, this one sucks. A Target was up $4 today. Almost 5%. Little problem. 2.5 weeks ago, it was $100. It closed at 87 today. 9 months ago, it was $145. Oh, and the highs of 21 were $269. So, again, perspective. And that's what we do. We go through, we know what's up, but we also know where things have been and whether it's a meaningful move or not. What is meaningful is the group made a good move today, and we'll see what comes of it. Follow through is going to be of import. Those are your retails. I got news for you. ADP and Paychecks. ADP was up $4 today, $253. It was $330 in June. Paychecks was up 3 today to 111. Oh, it was 161 in May. Does it impress? Hell no. But if the worst stuff stops going down, typically we'll put a floor under the market. And as I look at my left screen, remember what my left screen is? Lesser tech. Stocks that have been bombed out. Mostly green today. I've yet to go through them. Don't know what I'll find. Yeah, I take that back. Pretty sure I'll know what I'll find. We'll find flies on an elephant's rear end as far as the bounces. But we want to get a feel, is the worst stuff not going down anymore? And the fact that they were up today, is it the start of something? We don't know. But we're now on notice of that because, as we said, restaurants that have been destroyed. I mean, hell, Kava was up $5 today to $49. It's a big 12% move, and volume was heavy. It was $153 11 months ago. I would suggest that's in the 60s to the downside, but we care about the big picture, but we have to deal with the reality at hand now. One of the worst stocks was up 12% today. And then I look over at my restaurants, everything was up today. And we'll take a look and see. I know I have one that's much stronger than others, and that's Restaurant Brands. They own Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons is pretty good, by the way. And Burger King, which has much better hamburgers than McDonald's, and love their onion rings. By the way, when I played golf in Nova Scotia, played some great golf courses with my buds, I don't think I've ever been to Tim Hortons. I went into Tim Hortons. Boy, they got some good stuff in there. That was good. Anyway, so restaurants. There's no bull markets there, but if the worst groups are not going down anymore, the floor of the market picks up. Housing, a strong day. The ETFs for home construction was up 5% today. For the home builders was up 4.7% today. They have been destroyed over the last year with one real nice rally into September and then trashed into today. A great day today. Guess what? I gotta have to spend some time on them. I looked at them and they look like maybe the worst is over. And if a weak group's worst is over and is no longer an anchor on the market, that helps the market. So restaurants, retail, housing. How about hotels? Hilton up $10 today. By the way, has done nothing for a long while. But you know what it has done? Built a very nice trading range with a good pivot above $280. A break above 280 on that would be a strong breakout for Hilton. The fact that it's setting up is good news. Hyatt up $9 today, 6%. Not as good as Hilton, but very much coming up the right side. And Marriott up $13 today, 4.7%. And guess what? That's got a good-looking pivot around that 300 level, closed at 295. So the hotels, you catch where I'm going here? We haven't even had to discuss these places with you. Just avoid. Just avoid. No, just avoid. Well, we're not so sure of that anymore based on the action today, a day after the market got trashed. The day after, on a gargantuan reversal to the downside, and the next day the broad market gives it the middle finger and goes right up today. Amazing 2 days. Best way I can explain it. It was an amazing 2 days in my world. And then there's the transports are up 500 today. By the way, the transports have done nothing since 21. And really have just been back and forth for months now over here. But off the April lows, of course. But they were up 3% today. What have we been telling you? Avoid. Well, I'm going to have to look them over. And I do know because of earnings, EXPD on the big gap up, very strong. Though earnings, there's no growth. And CHRW, big gap up and sitting tight for a few weeks. So there are two names in the transports that are strong, but you know it's been weak? The truckers have been a horror show. They had a good day today. I already looked them over. They look like crap. But if the worst, look what I'm saying a bunch of times here. If the worst is over for the areas that have been the weakest, it usually means the floor can be picked up. And we're saying this the day after a nauseating, one of the worst reversal days to the downside I have ever seen. Hey, welcome to my world. Up next. Anything else? This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Da-da-da, da-da-da. You know, when I get sick, I get sick. I was so knocked out yesterday, and this morning I was a horror show, but I feel so much better this afternoon. It just like almost gone away. Boys, it hit me. You never know. I took, Dayquil? I think it worked. Still little, but I think it worked. Feeling much, much better right now. This morning, I just wanted to put my head in the sand. Dayquil. No more NyQuil, though. I told you about that the other day. Took it like at 2 in the morning, and when I woke up, I kind of didn't wake up. Anyway, so we'll go into next week with the big indices below the 50-day. But very impressed with today. The mid-caps got slaughtered yesterday, up 2.4 today, %. The Russell slaughtered yesterday. You think we're going to be leading down, up 2.8%. That's the broad market, which goes back to what I said at the beginning. In the past, you give me a day like yesterday, and I'm yelling and screaming, oh, this is the start of, and look out below, and hold. And what did we say yesterday? I have no clue what tomorrow does. Because for whatever reason, we know the big trends and stuff, but in the short term, we have seen so many things that are cockamamie in the markets, where you would guarantee to yourself, and the opposite happens in the short run. In the short run. And that was the story of the last 2 days, on top of some weakness coming into the last 2 days. It was weak beforehand. And let me repeat, the worst areas had a good day. The worst stocks on my left screen had a good day. If the worst areas of the market are done going down, it should provide some type of something, floor, if you will. That said, we have always been trained when the crap rallies, it is troublesome. And when I use crap, I mean the weak stuff. You know what? I'm not even thinking about that. I'm just going to let the market decide as we go into next week and try and find good setups. As I mentioned, a couple of retail. Setups in technology, nah, not this second. Not this second. And wild swings. LITE, one of the leading names. You want wild swings? Yesterday morning, 282. Closed at 233. $50 on the strongest name in the market. Bounces up 22 today. Welcome to my world. A crazy week. The easy part of my week is what's gone. What do I mean? What's broken? What broke the 50-day? What's deeper down? And I got a bunch. Today, VEEV. Total break on earnings. For whatever reason. Zscaler, ZS. Just broken. CrowdStrike, I'm not willing to say it yet. Palo Alto Networks, goner. Palantir finished down today in an up 195 NASDAQ. Was worse and reverse like the NASDAQ did. It's gone from 207 to 154 and change. And remember, I kind of equate Palantir to Costco. Remember what we warned you on Costco months ago, not knowing anything. That how is this stock going to go up when they're so big and growing around low teens and sales in single digits? How you can trade you get a premium because you're Costco. And since then, it's gone from 1,078 10 months ago, 900 today. Not the end of the world, but weak. So Palantir, we've been warning you. And by the way, we've been warning you on the way up, admittedly. But we've been warning you about Ultimate. And then when things turn sour, valuations matter. It's still got a $367 billion market cap with less than $4 billion in revenues. No longer does it have near a $500 billion market cap. Also of note, surprisingly, the crypto was down today. Off the lows, but was down today. Now it trades on the weekend, needs to do better. Very oversold, deeply oversold, ridiculously extended to the downside. Pretty sure soon it's going to bounce, but in a bear market. If anything changes there, we'll let you know, because amazingly, we get more questions on, should I be buying Bitcoin? Something that has no revenues, no earnings, no product, no sales, no office. And a guy running a leveraged thingamabob in MicroStrategy, who, by the way, his fantastic idea in life, you invest with me and I'll buy some Bitcoin and leverage it. Anyway, that's the story there. We get more questions on that than Walmart. Welcome to the world. Anyway, have a great weekend. Drive carefully. If you're traveling, take your time, stay safe. They're there to get you there safe. Don't argue with anybody at the airports. When you get home, though, also, make sure you hug them children. Have a great one, everybody. We'll be back on Monday. Peace out. Bye-bye.